Indra Devi.
Oh,
That's Indra
but
Devi,
who's
right?
the person?
La foto de atrás es de-
That's okay.
She's a great teacher.
But she's not on the Zoom.
She was the original first lady of yoga until you stepped into the picture.
Oh, Fiddly D.
Ahora fue la primera.
Fiddly D.
Ya estamos listos, Mariana.
Okay, we're ready.
Bueno, quiero darle la bienvenida a Lilias FOLAN y a Larry Payne.
I want to welcome Lilias FOLAN and Larry Payne.
Sí. Para nosotros es un placer y una alegría justamente tener este espacio que nosotros llamamos los amigos de Larry.
It's a pleasure and a joy for us to have this space that is Larry's friend.
Iana.
Bueno, estamos agradecidos para estar al lado de nuestros amigos y gran maestros de yoga.
We are thankful to be here with our friends and great teachers of yoga.
Thank you. And also, I would like you all to meet Lilias's son, Matthew FOLAN. Stick your head in, please. The wonderful man
Hi,
who
everybody.
helped make this possible.
Quisiera que
Okay.
todos
That's
conozcan a
sweet.
Matthew, que es el hijo de Lilias.
All right.
Yeah, so sweet.
And I am on page 12 of her first book.
Yo
Thank you.
aparezco en la página 12 de su libro.
Okay.
Sí, habló
You know-
un poquito más alto, Mariana.
Okay.
Está muy bajo.
A
Bueno.
ver, yo okay.
Larry,
Yes.
it's your time.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank David and Iana Lifar, as well as our wonderful translator, Mariana, for making this possible.
Primero quiero agradecer a David, a Iana, a la intérprete por hacer esto posible.
And I am thrilled that many of you in South America will be able to see this living legend, the First Lady of Yoga, Lilias FOLAN.
Y estoy entusiasmado de que todos ustedes en América del Sur puedan ver a esta leyenda viva que es la primera dama del yoga.
And I have a little story to tell you about how I first met Lilias.
Y les voy a contar una anécdota sobre cómo conocí a Lilias.
Lilias was on television everywhere, on PBS nationally, and I became a big fan.
Ella estaba en televisión, en la televisión nacional PBS, y yo me hice un gran seguidor de ella.
So through some mutual friends, she listened to my request to come to Los Angeles for a workshop and said yes.
Y por intermedio de algunos amigos mutuos, ella supo de mi pedido de que viniera a Los Ángeles para un taller y accedió.
So at the time, I was doing two careers at the same time, yoga and advertising.
En ese momento yo estaba en dos carreras al mismo tiempo, en publicidad y en yoga.
So I had money.
Tenía dinero.
So a friend of mine made flower arrangements for the Academy Awards.
Y un amigo mío hacía los arreglos florales para los Oscar.
So I went to him and I said, I'm meeting the First Lady of Yoga at the airport, and can you make some flowers for me?
Y entonces le pedí un arreglo floral porque me iba a encontrar con la primera dama del yoga.
So he made what is called a presentation bouquet.
Y entonces él hizo un buqué de presentación.
And when I went to pick it up, it was almost as big as me.
Y cuando fui a buscarlo era tan alto como yo.
So I came to the airport holding these flowers for Lilias.
Entonces llegué con estas flores al aeropuerto para Lilias.
And I think she never forgot it.
Y creo que no lo ha olvidado.
All right, enough about me.
Bueno, eso es sobre mí.
Lilias, how did you first get involved with yoga, and who were your most influential teachers in the beginning?
Lilias, ¿cómo ingresó al yoga y quiénes fueron sus más influyentes maestros en el yoga?
I began my yoga journey really with a big backache and not feeling well. And I had wonderful husband, 2 darling little children, sons. And I was also kind of an athlete before I was married. I mean, I could ski very well.
A good time to pause.
Yo comencé el yoga con un dolor de espalda, no me sentía bien, tenía un gran esposo, 2 hermosos hijos y había sido en cierta forma atleta antes de casarme.
And then?
And then I wanted to try some type of exercise, but it was competitive and boring. And I also was noticing my stress level and the mind. And so I wanted an interesting form of exercise. And
quise intentar algún ejercicio, pero resultaba todo competitivo y aburrido. Y era un nivel de estrés muy fuerte sobre mi mente. Quería algo que me interesara, que me llamara.
Well, Richard Hittleman was on television at that time, and I was home a lot. And, you know, it was pretty good, but there was a part of me that sort of said, you know, I'm interested, but let me get more, you know, let me find some place to study. So I read some books. One was Yoga, Youth, and Reincarnation. And it spoke to things that I was really interested in, like reincarnation. And
good time to pause.
Richard Hilleland estaba en televisión y me resultaba interesante y quise comenzar a estudiar. Entonces comencé por un libro que es Yoga, Juventud y Reencarnación. Y realmente me interesó el tema de la reencarnación.
That was Jess Stern, that book. Yeah.
Era el libro de Jess Stern.
And practical. You know, I heard it. And, you know, I'm living in New York City and a young wife and needed to be practical and interesting and also spiritual.
Y tenía que ser también algo práctico. Yo vivía en New York City, era una joven esposa y también buscaba algo espiritual.
Who were the first formal teachers you had going to a class?
¿Quiénes fueron sus primeros maestros formales cuando fue a clase?
I somehow found the Shivananda group in New York City and went there.
Okay.
Encontré el grupo de Shivananda en la ciudad de Nueva York y fui allí.
Yes, in New York.
Okay. But how did this PBS opportunity come along?
¿Y cómo llegó la oportunidad de PBS?
Well, let's, Laraji, go back just a little bit. That in the Shivananda ashram was Swami Chidananda,
Right.
and he was coming to New York City.
Ah.
And it was, you know, and spoke to my soul.
So
and
you directly had some classes with Swami Chidananda.
It wasn't classes as you'd sit in his presence.
I got it. I got it.
And love would just, you know, emanate from him.
Got it.
But then
can we just get that little excerpt, Lilias?
Quisiera ir un poquito más atrás. Cuando fui al ashram de Shivananda y venía Swami Shivananda a Nueva York, entonces verlo y estar en su presencia le habló a mi alma. Pude sentir esa presencia.
Go ahead.
And so when I was in New York, I attended some yoga classes, and what it really attracted me was that they were so interesting. And it was the science and the study of the self, which I longed for.
Y cuando estuve en las clases, lo que encontré tan interesante es la ciencia y el estudio de uno mismo.
Did you take the Shivananda training program?
¿Tomó la capacitación de Shivananda?
This was probably before their training program.
Wow.
Yeah, this is over 50 years ago.
No, estamos hablando de antes de su capacitación, quizás 50 años antes.
So you didn't really take a formal teacher training?
No, not that I remember. Not
Okay.
that I remember. I would study with many, many different teachers.
Right. Okay, go ahead.
Entonces no tomó ninguna capacitación para maestros o para profesores. No, nada que recuerde, sino que sí daba clases con distintos maestros.
Well, this has to be something about good looks went a long ways because you got the PBS gig.
Y parece que entonces salió muy bien su presencia porque consiguió lo de PBS.
You know, Larry G., nothing is by accident.
Yeah.
And it includes the face that I was given and that you were given.
Thank you.
And the fact that my hair was long at that time and I'm photogenic. But if I came into the planet with, you've got a job to do, so we're going to give you some help. And I got help.
Wow. Mariana?
Nada ocurre por accidente. Sí, el rostro que me habían dado y el hecho de que tenía el cabello largo y que era fotogénica. Pero bueno, uno llega con esto al trabajo y luego hay que hacer el trabajo y se necesita ayuda para eso.
But how did it formally happen, though?
Larry G., I wanted to, just so folks know this, that I really came into the planet loving something like God.
Okay.
And when I was a little kid, that was very much, it got me through some really tough times.
Let her get that because it's really important.
Yo llegué a este planeta con un amor por Dios, realmente amaba a Dios, y esto me hizo atravesar momentos muy difíciles.
If I can use the word the divine, it's just, but got me through.
Lo divino es lo que me...
Yeah, my mother was married 5 times.
Mi madre estuvo casada 5 veces.
So.
Did you feel that you wish things were better with your mom?
¿Sintió que prefería que las cosas fueran mejor con su mamá?
Well, Larry, I'm not going to answer that.
Okay.
No voy a contestar esto.
I understand. Very kind of you.
Muchas gracias, muy amable.
Okay. Now, how did the PBS thing actually happen?
I was teaching here in Cincinnati, and it's kind of like the YWCA. And one of my students was married to a producer of WCET, PBS, here in Cincinnati.
Good time to pause.
Entonces yo estaba enseñando en Cincinnati, en el YMCA, y el lugar de la juventud cristiana, y una de mis estudiantes estaba casada con un productor de PBS.
Okay.
And her name and his name was Merle and Len Gurian. She went home to her husband and said, Lenny, I have the perfect girl for you to do a television series with, and she's going to teach yoga, and you're going to produce it.
Perfect.
Y Muriel Gillian fue a ver a su esposo y le dijo, tengo a la chica perfecta para esta serie de televisión, ella va a enseñar yoga y tú la producirás.
Were there any bumps in the beginning?
¿Hubo problemas al principio?
Of course. But there's no class. You're talking to a red light, and I'd never done it before. But really, with God's grace, I wasn't alone. And I was doing just what I was put on the planet to do. So get a lot of help, but you can't see it.
Wow.
Por supuesto. No hay una clase, uno está hablando con una lucecita roja, pero tenía la gracia de Dios y yo fui puesta en este planeta para hacer esto y eso me llevó adelante.
Now, because you had such a long run on PBS, I know there's some great stories from your fans and people you met, and because everybody who has a mom, a grandmother, knows Lilias. And so you must have had some very touching stories to share. Mariana?
Bueno, con todo este tiempo que usted estuvo en PBS, probablemente tenga muchas anécdotas de sus seguidores, hay muchas mamás, abuelas, que se sintieron, que les llegó su trabajo en PBS.
Certainly one of my aha moments was realizing I'm not doing this to firm up my tummy. I am not doing this exercise to firm up my tummy. I am doing this to help get my act together as a human being.
Wow.
Uno de los momentos que vi cómo eran las cosas fue cuando me di cuenta que yo no estaba haciendo esto para tener una mejor pancita o no tener pancita, sino que me estaba ayudando a ser quien soy, a descubrirme.
Oh, gee. But Matt, please close this door. Please. Sorry, I'm sorry. Did you ask a question?
No, you were just saying that you realized you weren't just
Close
doing
the door,
exercise. You weren't just doing exercise. You had another assignment, from God, it sounds like to me.
I mean, that's a pretty highfalutin word, but it is knowing thyself was, and I love phrases like that. Know thyself, and ye shall know the mystery. And the mystery of life has captivated me and pulled me around since I've been a little kid.
Wow.
Just fascinated with it.
Mariana?
Esto, bueno, quizás hablar de Dios parece un poco altisonante, pero lo que a mí me importa es el autoconocimiento. Y esta frase que dice, conócete a ti mismo y conocerás el misterio, porque eso fue lo que siempre me atrapó desde niña, el conocer el misterio de la vida.
One of the things I remember that was a big deal is when you cut off your braid. I mean, your braid was like famous, and I remember even Jane Fonda, when she made videos, imitated you and had a braid when she made her yoga videos. Go ahead.
Uno de los recuerdos es cuando usted se cortó la trenza, porque hasta Jane Fonda hacía videos y hacía de cuenta que tenía esa trenza, ¿verdad? Cuando hacía yoga.
Well, if the higher power is working in our lives, I don't like to say my life because it sounds so egotistical, but growing my hair and growing the braid was part of it. It was a signature, and it definitely made me different.
El poder del Altísimo trabaja en mi vida Y no quiero decirlo así en una manera que suene egoísta, pero el hacer crecer mi cabello y esta trenza era una firma mía. Y esto fue parte de mí.
From my own study of 40 years, I know that from India, yoga is meant for 3 stages of life. And do you think that there could be something to that?
I want to go back to the hair.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Because I don't know about 3 stages of life. All I know is that I was to braid my hair, and it would be sort of a significant connection. And then at one point, there was a moment where the direction was, Lilias, cut your hair. And it freaked everybody out. Why was I cutting my hair?
Yeah, it was really a big deal.
No sé sobre las 3 etapas de la vida, pero sí sé que cuando me hacía la trenza, yo sentía una conexión significativa, y en algún momento llegó la orden de, Lilias, tienes que cortarte esa trenza.
Just a second now, Larry.
Okay,
now,
good,
just a second.
Good.
Because my journey and my lesson is, and ladies, listen up, I am not my hair. You are not your hair. And gentlemen, you are not your hair either. But boy, what a lesson to learn, you know. I am not my hair. Okay, who am I? Who am I?
Beautiful.
Entonces, aquí en este viaje, por favor escuchen, señores, señoras, ustedes no son su cabello, yo no fui mi cabello, a todos les hablo, pero si no era mi cabello, ¿quién soy? Ahí tuve que pensarlo.
Well, going along with that, there was another stage where you decided not to color your hair anymore.
También decidió no pintarse el pelo.
What a pain it is, you know, and ladies know this. You know, and you're so attached to it, and it was just something that we as ladies look at, and I decided, hey, I don't want this. I look better and I look younger, but no, what's underneath there? So the journey, and that's how I really like to look at my life, is a journey, was to stop coloring my hair and eventually cut it and see what was underneath it. And my goodness, this was underneath it.
Bueno, fue difícil, y es difícil, y también todo lo que nosotros ponemos sobre este cabello. Como mujeres lo miramos, lo admiramos, y nos vemos mejor, me veía más joven, pero ¿qué había detrás de ese cabello? Entonces, en este camino, en este viaje, como lo llamo yo, tuve que dejar de teñirlo, y luego tuve que dejar de cortármelo. Y bueno, aquí es donde estoy, esto es lo que soy.
Another chapter in your life that I remember was a lot of years of legendary workshops at the Feather Point Ranch. And
Feather Pipe
Ranch, yeah.
In Helena, Montana.
Yeah,
yes.
Boy, that's where people went deep with you. I remember you
and
changed
others,
so
wonderful.
many lives, so many lives. You want to speak anything about that?
You know, I would also like to mention that I had a wonderful assist of Marty Glenn, and Marty's a psychologist in San Francisco area, and she and I worked together. And Feather Pipe was so wonderful for many different reasons. Kind of brought us back to the earth. We'd have campfires. We could dance on the earth. And it was all women. And, you know, Mother, I feel you under my feet. And that's a dance that you do. And, but it connects us to self. Who am I? And the earth and the sky and the fires and nature, because I'm so involved in cities and, you know, and taxis and all that city. To be in nature is so healing.
Great.
Y bueno, en otros capítulos de su vida hizo estos talleres legendarios. Tanta gente logró conectarse con usted a un nivel tan profundo y tocó tantas vidas. Bueno, aquí quiero mencionar a Mari, mi asistente, que trabaja en San Francisco, y quiero hacer referencia a Featherpipe, que teníamos estos maravillosos encuentros en contacto con la tierra, con la naturaleza, con los fogones, y éramos todas mujeres, y bailábamos, y esa posibilidad de conectarse con uno mismo, con la tierra, con el cielo, con el fuego y la naturaleza, y salir de la ciudad, de los taxis y de todo esto, estar en contacto con la naturaleza.
Beautiful. Lilias, looking back on your life, is there anything you would have done differently?
No, I'm perfect. I mean,
Algo que hubiera hecho diferente.
sorry. Oh God. I think what I continue to learn is to kind of be myself, and that process, and it is a journey, and it's not easy, but I do hope that folks who are listening, and I'm looking at you right now, that you'll join me on this incredible journey to know thyself. And all our great teachers, they all say it in some shape or form. Know thyself. And I'm not there yet. You know, I'm Larry, do I have a second to go? Because I haven't, that song, if the folks, you guys at home.
Let her translate what you just said, and then we'll go to that.
Entonces, continúo aprendiendo y aprendiendo a ser yo misma. Continúo en ese proceso, en ese viaje. Y no es fácil, pero los invito a quienes me están escuchando a que se unan a esto. Conócete a ti mismo. Y el objetivo es seguir creciendo, y todavía no estoy allí. Y ahora quiero compartir con ustedes una canción.
So when you sing the song, Lilias, can it be in little short verses so she can catch up in the translation?
Sure, but also I hope I've said it too, is how much of the Native American tradition I appreciate and love and resonate with. Not everybody does, but that both Marty and I and Featherpipe resonated with the Native American tradition. So
a good pause.
Y quiero también hacer mención de los nativos estadounidenses, que es lo que yo amo y cómo aprecio todo esto y cómo resuena en mí todo esto. Y también con Mari y con Featherpipe en este caso.
So the song, was that what?
Yes.
Mother, I feel you under my feet.
Madre, te siento debajo de mis pies.
Mother, I hear your heart beat.
Madre, escucho tu corazón.
Hey, 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 ho.
Hey, 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 ho.
And then the last is hey, 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 oh. Boom. And then you have a drum. And that's, you know, the Native American tradition just, you know, is so beautiful.
Y esto junto a los tambores, y en esto siento la belleza de los nativos aborígenes estadounidenses.
So if we ever get together, folks, and those of you that are listening, and we're at a conference or something, and there's a dance that goes with it, and I'll teach you all a dance too.
Y si algún día nos juntamos, a todos los que están escuchando, y viene con una danza, también les voy a mostrar esta danza.
You know, Lilias, just in a short time, I think you reminded me and everyone else just what a bright light you are and how much you mean to so many people.
I'm glad to be on the journey and to be of service, really. And I that's part of the is keeping the ego out of it. Doggone it. No, you're serving, you're helping. And that's what I love to do. And that's why I'm here.
Lilias, en este corto, breve periodo, nos recuerda qué luz maravillosa es usted. Y bueno, Lilias agrega, este viaje es sobre servir y sacar a un lado el ego. Servir, ayudar, eso es lo que yo amo.
Well, I believe that we are blessed to have just this right amount of time with you, and that you gave a beautiful message, and we're all so grateful to you, Lilias, not only for now, but everything you've done for the world of yoga.
Thank you, and I hope that
Larry,
come on, guys, join
Larry.
me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Larry,
Let's go.
yo tengo unas preguntas. I have some questions for him.
Okay, David has some questions for you.
David, lovely.
Tenemos más preguntas entonces.
¿Cómo está pasando esta pandemia, esta situación que estamos viviendo en el mundo? ¿Cuál es su visión?
How are you going through the pandemic, and what's your vision on what's going on in the world?
Oh, a tiny little question, David. I understand it. In two things I think about is I can change me, I can serve, I can really help out by caring and saying thank you, and I'm grateful, and you know, being a good and helping out wherever I am. But I can't change the planet, but I can pray about it. I pray about it daily and in the middle of the night. I pray about it.
Hay dos cosas que puedo decir. Me puedo cambiar a mí, puedo servir, puedo ocuparme de los demás, agradecer y ser agradecida. No puedo cambiar el mundo, pero sí rezo, sí puedo orar por el mundo. Y eso es lo que hago.
Tengo otra pregunta. I have another question, Lilias. ¿Cómo ve el yoga hoy comparado con el que ella aprendió?
How do you see yoga today in comparison to what you learned?
Lots of similarities, but David, I'm learning. I'm a student. I'm learning right now. So I think the inner listener, the inner teacher, is wiser and keeps deepening. Really, the joys in the journey. That's today. At the market, you know.
Veo muchas similitudes, pero yo hoy soy estudiante. Sigo aprendiendo hoy mismo. Y quien escucha adentro, nuestro propio maestro interior, es cada vez más sabio y se sigue profundizando, pero la alegría está en ese camino, en ese viaje.
Isn't it interesting though, and David, and is it but it's not the same as 50 years ago. We're deepening, we're growing. The words of Ramakrishna and the greats still echo, but I hear them differently, or I understand them differently. Because I want to grow. I bet you do too.
Es interesante, Diana, Iana, David y Ana, que vemos lo mismo que hace 50 años, pero seguimos creciendo y esas palabras en Ramakrishna, si bien son las mismas, las entiendo distinto porque quiero crecer y sigo creciendo.
Bueno, para nosotros es una alegría. Sí, Iana quiere hablar algo, quiere contestar.
Iana would like to add something.
Yo quiero decir que yo no entiendo mucho inglés.
I don't understand much English.
What? Good. Did you want me to say something?
I think,
Ask her.
Was there a question?
¿hay una pregunta?
Un momento. Oraciones cortas.
Se quedó trabada la conexión, perdón.
Bueno, a ver, repetir nuevamente, Iana.
Estando escuchando, realmente siento tanta emoción, está conectada con vibración de ella, que realmente es muy fuerte y te lleva bien al interior de uno.
Listening to you, I can feel your vibration and I feel it's very strong and it goes deep into me.
Namaste. Larry.
I just got chills, kids. I just got chills.
Me da escalofríos.
Sí, y por más que no está cerca con cuerpos, a través de esta pantalla siento que estoy unida con esta vibración tan hermosa de un ser tan divino.
And even if we are not close in bodies, through the screen, I feel that I'm close to that vibration. That's so beautiful.
Me too. And that guy next to you. I mean, that guy next to you. Excuse me, he's such a pain in the butt. I mean, sorry.
Translate. Traducíselo para.
Can you
para
translate
Diana.
that?
Para Diana.
Sí, ese hombre que tiene ahí al lado, que es tan molesto.
Bueno, Larry.
Yes.
¿Cómo, además, cuál fue tu impresión cuando la viste a Lilias la primera vez?
Larry, what was your impression when you saw Lilias for the first time?
To be very honest.
Yes.
Okay. She was really attractive. My guy thing.
I got the guy thing too. Oh boy.
My guy thing happened. And I thought she was just gorgeous. And then she came to the workshop at my house, and then she was in the living room of my house, and all my closest friends were there. It was one of the greatest moments of my life.
Para ser honesto, la vi muy atractiva, salió todo el hombre de mí y la vi maravillosa, y cuando la tenía en el taller en mi casa, con mis amigos, me sentí todo ese orgullo.
An immediate attraction for me too. Really.
Thank you.
Really.
Y la atracción también fue
Absolutely.
inmediata.
Thank you.
Otra pregunta, Larry.
Yes.
¿Por qué la invitaste a Lilias en esta oportunidad?
So why did you invite Lilias on that opportunity?
I was having teacher trainings, and it would be the highest honor if she came to the training. You know, they were workshops, and it would be a high honor if she came to my studio. That's why I invited her.
Estaba haciendo capacitaciones para profesores, y para mí era un gran honor poder tenerla en el estudio.
And that's why she got the 10-foot bouquet.
Por eso recibió el buque de 3 metros.
Lilias, would you like to give us a closing ceremony?
Lilias, quisiera cerrar con una pequeña ceremonia.
Closure. How wonderful. You know, if we can you all see me? Because I can see you.
Yes,
I can
yes,
see
yes.
David and
Yes,
See,
that's what this-
see.
you can
see.
see?
Yeah.
Good.
Ándale.
So let's just kind of look at each other and connect. And isn't it interesting that in today's world, we could be hundreds of miles away and we are connecting. Not just that thought tells you a lot about our inner, and to let the corners of your lips turn up slightly, sometimes even if you don't feel like it, so the cheeks raise just a little bit, so there's a smile. And not that smile, Larry.
Una sonrisa.
No, it's a little inner smile. Larry does just what he needs to do. And smiling that to each other and saying thank you and grateful. How wonderful, you know, that, and that our Indra Devi, I hope, is right up there and with us. And thank you. And I hope one day that we'll meet in person. Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, it would be. And let me just look at you all. Thank you so much. Blessings. And I really appreciate it. So should we close with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Paz, 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 paz.
Sí, entonces este cierre maravilloso es para conectarnos, para mirarnos a los ojos, a pesar de que estamos a kilómetros y kilómetros, poner una sonrisa interior y sentir.
Anything else, David? Larry?
I have one more thing, and that is a special thanks to Mariana, a world-class translator from CNN that came to make this special occasion that is going to be
Thank you,
shared
Mariana.
by many people.
I know, that's
Muchísimas gracias y muy agradecido.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And to our friends in South America, thank you. God bless you all.
Muchas gracias por darnos esta oportunidad.
Love you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Bueno,
Thank you.
the best.
Bye-bye.